Hi friends! Let's continue the 4-channel amplifier review of MD Lab company am104.4dsp. Last time we discussed the analog part of the amplifier. Today we will deal with the software intended for its setup. The software is loaded from the official site of the company. It arrived in the archive containing the two executable files, the serial port driver and actually the setup program. Unpack the archive on the disk, run the driver installer and… oops, we get shaky in all respects. Alright, got started on behalf of the administrator and everything turns out. Overload, just in case. In a device manager, a virtual COM part appeared. We have COM4, but on another computer, the port number can differ. Stick the USB cord. On the amplifier panel, the PC LED is lit. Give a power to the amplifier. Launch the second executed file and the program interface is in front of us. It turned out that this software doesn't need the installation and works from where it is necessary. I think it can be run even from a flash card. All processor control is concentrated in one window. Any drop-down menus and additional settings. The size of window is hard-coded and makes 1257 by 736 points. Owners of old netbooks with screens 1024 by 600 go by. Select the necessary port. As you remember, it is COM4 and click the link button. The progress bar strip becomes color. Connections happened and the settings which have been earlier written in DSP loaded to the program. This is our first preset test, where we measured the amplifier in the last review. If it is necessary to read once again the processor setting, it is possible to press the read button. If you want to save these settings on the computer, we have a save button. If to load from it, open. Everything as usual. To the left of the PC section, there is a section of rated AFC, where we clearly see the resulting amplitude-frequency characteristic of our device, after all the manipulations with multiple settings. Below, we see the virtual engines of the equalizer setup. Multi-band graphic equalizer, only 31 bandwidth with an increments in a third of 1 octave, with the possibility of level regulation not only at each frequency, but also quality. Sometimes such equalizers are called paragraphic, as a hybrid of a parametric and graphic equalizers. Level adjustment range from 20 dB to plus 20 dB. Near each engine there is a checkbox, which allows to apply or cancel this setup. There is a general checkbox for the whole equalizer. Very convenient feature for orally setup. It is possible to cancel all changes by one movement and to hear the difference at once. To the right there are two buttons. The first, an equalizer gain, the second, an equalizer quality. It is clear that in case of switching on of the first button, the engines regulate the gain at this frequency. In case of switching on of the second, good quality of this equalizer cell, that in result changes the steepness of the top or a dip in AFC. Now I will have to play up a little. I got used that double click on a similar engine drops it in an initial position, in 0 for example. In all, well, almost in all programs. Here we don't have this, and it is sad. MD Lab program. Listen, it isn't difficult to implement, but usability is defined by such trifles. In the lower section there is a crossover control, two filters, the high and low frequencies which are set up separately. We can select the type for each filter, Linkwidth Riley, Bessel or Butterworth, and the steepness of the decay characteristic, that is a filter order, and of course the cutoff frequency. The last is set in the range from 20 Hz to 20 kHz with an accuracy of Hz. Out of spite, I tried to enter fractional number, but it didn't turn out. To the left, we see a level control engine, to the right, an engine of the delay controller. The delay can be set in centimeters, inches and milliseconds. It sounds funny, a delay in centimeters. But those who is in subject understood me. Near the delay engine there is a reset button. Click on it simply drops a delay in 0. By the way, do you remember my wish about double-click? Then this button wasn't necessary. And at last, there are 4 big buttons of channel switching. I think it isn't necessary to explain their assignment. There is a button mute over each button of channels, allowing to disconnect the channel in one click. And the plus-minus button, intended for a phase turning 180 degrees by one click. Channels can be combined for the sync settings. The bus link mode button is intended for setup channel switching on by the bridge to a subwoofer. In this case, the first and the second channels are integrated. We still don't understand the difference between this mode and simple channel linking and any word in the instruction about it. By the way, about the instruction. It describes a program that is not too similar to the present program, an old version probably, but as you can see, we understood everything. In the following review, we will see how the DSP works, and now, thanks for your attention.